Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Sorry, I'm like getting phone calls. Hi, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Oh my goodness, y'all. It is the 15th day of the year. What do you guys think so far? How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? Shout out to everybody. Rabbit hopping from the coffee pot. I can't read today. I'm sorry. Welcome, welcome. Well, I got my iced coffee, I got my water bottle, and I got my energy drink. 3 essentials. Oh my god, and I forgot to get one more thing. Now I gotta run and go get that. Start over. Start over. No, I'm just joking. No, I do have to run and get something. I did forget something. Welcome everybody. While everybody's coming through, that'll give you some time. Some time. Now, here's the deal. There's three that I have on my thing. And one of them is that the Sascha Riley recordings. Now, I thought about this. I went to go to the page to see these Sascha Riley recordings. I've heard about them, but I've not watched them. So I was like, well, do I go listen to them? They're so long though. I was like, I don't really want to do a pre-recorded video on them. I might as well just do like a reaction video with you guys, and you guys let me know in real time what you guys think. So I added Sascha here. So I proposed one of two things. Okay, we've talked a little bit about D4VD. Sorry, I didn't mean to push the balloons. We've talked a little bit about D4VD. Okay, and we're gonna talk about that because there was an interesting video that has resurfaced that I want us to talk about. And then we're going to talk about Tim Busfield's court documents, where apparently the 16-year-old is mentioned. So we're going to talk about that. But then there is this recording. Now, the first recording for Sascha Riley is about an hour and 30 minutes. So I thought, okay, I have to pick up Baby Bunny. So I can't be here like, 2 hours like that. So do I let the recording run after we cover the first two? That way I can go pick up Baby Bunny, get her some lunch, bring her back, leave the live chat, everything going. So that would be part one. And then later on we can listen to part two. You said it's well, I have not even listened to it. You said it sounds pretty far-fetched. Oh, why did the battery die? I just charged this thing. Hold up, y'all. What the heck? And I just changed it. Let me switch the battery real quick. Y'all let me know what you guys want to do. Should we listen to it in this live stream after we're done covering the first two topics? And again, I'd have to leave, but I'm going to leave it running, and so the live chat will be there. You guys can interact there. Or should I just do a new live for that? I mean, whatever. I could do both. I guess we'll see what people say in the chat. Let me know as you vote, and then let me go grab. Dang it. I can't believe I just charged this battery. Maybe I didn't charge it. Maybe I hallucinated. I don't know. That happens. It is, it's the new year, y'all. Shit happens. Hold up. Okay, come on. Give me 1 second. Oh my gosh. You said whatever's easiest for me? Yeah, I'm going to think about it. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll feel, depends on how I feel after we're done with at least the two main topics. All right. Sorry about that. The battery died. I'm like, what? I just charged this battery. Maybe I didn't. I need to separate the batteries that are charged and not charged. Okay. Hold up. Hold up. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay. That's somewhat better. I don't know. It says it's a full battery. All right. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and get started with the Timothy court docs, but I have to run and get something real quick before we even go there. Apparently, Deadline dropped the documents yesterday. Shout out to my moderator, Vicky, who gave me the heads up about it. She was able to get those, the link to the docs at least. Okay. Ooh, perfect. Okay, hold up. Share this with you guys. Here we go. All right. Is that okay? Let's do that. No, There we go. Let's put these comments down. Let me go get my water real quick, y'all. Well, I have my water, but I got to go get something else too. Said, I promise to be in my best behavior while being unsupervised. Nancy, I do not trust you, girl. You got that look. You got that look on your face. All right, hold up, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Shout out to everybody. Oh my God. Not Cindy Shay. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Stay safe, not Cindy Shay. Shout out to you. Okay. We're about to get started on the read. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, this is the state expedited motion for pretrial detention. Now, this is Timothy Busfield's documents. Now, this is, well, how many pages are we talking about here? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's not too many. It's not too bad. It's only 6. All right. And then here we have the case. Let's see. Comes now, the state of New Mexico, by and through the DA, Savannah, is it Cook, I think, and hereby moves this court for an order detaining defendant Timothy Busfield under Rule 5-409 NMRA, Article 2, Section 13 of New Mexico Constitution, while trial in this matter is pending. Such an order is appropriate because no release conditions will reasonably protect the safety of any other person in the community. Let me ask you guys a question about this right here. Okay, I can't even highlight because the deadline watermark. It's okay. Safety of the community, right? So then yesterday we heard through this paperwork that there's a 16-year-old victim that was mentioned here by this DA's paperwork. Again, there's apparently other folks that have not come out and discuss. They might have been paid off. They might have, like, there's so many things that could have happened here and whatnot. So there's a huge concern for a lot of us in terms of, are there other victims? Do we know at this point? And, typically in situations like that, we have seen this play out with others like Weinstein and others, where there's usually more than one victim because there's a pattern of behavior. But let's get into this. The state intends to show that a defendant should be detained for the following reasons. The defendant is charged with felony offenses, 2 counts of criminal S contact, 30-9-13C1, and abuse of a child, 30-6-1D. And by the way, YouTube, this is educational content for commentary purposes. We are here discussing an arrest warrant for true crime. Let me make sure I got this up here, y'all, because we did get flagged yesterday, by the way. YouTube gets, it's weird. Every once in a while, they'll just start flagging videos that they deemed are inappropriate. Do I have it here? I do. Here it is. So we have our sign up here. Okay. And it further says that the state intends to show defendant should be detained for the following reasons. The defendant is charged with felony offenses, 2 counts of criminal S contact. We've read those. 30-9-13C1 and abuse of a child, 30-6-1D, arising from his conduct towards a child actor while the defendant occupied a position of authority and trust as a director and executive producer on the television series filmed in New Mexico. So this is the nature and circumstances of the offenses, the weight of the evidence. The facts below are taken from a sworn affidavit filed in this cause number. The defendant, Timothy Busfield, served as a director and executive producer on the television series The Cleaning Lady, filmed in Albuquerque, New Mexico. In that role, the defendant exercised authority over child actors, controlled filming environments, and had repeated access to minors on set. So the name of the victim, which we know they're twins, one of them, the main one that seems to have been targeted, is the victim by the initials of SL. Okay. So his DOB is up there. He was born in 2014. He disclosed that the defendant had repeatedly touched SL's areas over clothing while SL was alone with the defendant on set. These incidents occurred multiple times between filming sets, often while SL was lying on a bed used as part of the set. SL provided detailed disclosures during a recorded forensic safe house interview, describing how the defendant would enter the room after calling cut and grab SL around the waist and touching his areas. SL reported feeling scared, ashamed, and afraid to tell anyone because the defendant was the director and he didn't want to get anyone in trouble. So even this child, again, he's 11 now. So he worked on this set or as an actor between the ages of 7 to 11. And he understood the role and the leadership that Tim played here, right? It's interesting. Like he understood that he's the director. He doesn't want to get anybody in trouble, right? SL disclosures are corroborated by therapy records diagnosing SL, which is what I said yesterday. I said, listen, outside of SL has made repeated disclosures in those therapy sessions, which is what's highlighted in the arrest warrant, with post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety. This is the therapy record that they say he was diagnosed with. Medical records documenting grooming and SA concerns, behavioral changes including nightmares, bedwetting, withdrawals, and fears. Independent witnesses describing the defendant as physically inappropriate, touchy, and unprofessional. Testimonies establishing frequent lapses in supervision of child actors on set. Yes, this is what one of the producers said, that as far as access go, he had access to kids. That wasn't the case. Like he had access to them. There's opportunities. Sometimes some of these directors are alone with these children. That does happen. That's what was said. Let me see. Welcome everybody. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button, please, and thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Well, have a good work day. Shout out to you. You said, hold up. I want to answer a question here. I don't see it. I don't see it anymore. Okay, sorry. The chat must have moved it. Let's keep going. So, defendant's own admissions that he likely tickled and touched the children and maintained offset social relationships with them and their family. Although he contradicted himself when he told police he didn't really know the boys. He did say this. We read a direct statement on this specific statement right there. We read something that said, he said himself, I need to download this. How come I didn't do that? Give me 1 second, y'all. Hold up. Let's download this. Because I want to highlight certain areas. Here we go. He said, Give me one. What the heck? Here we go. He said from his own mouth that he didn't know them, and then he vacationed with them, but he didn't know them. So it was kind of weird, and it's quoted in his interview too. So either you knew him or you knew them or didn't know them. That's kind of where we're at. You knew them or you didn't know them. You can't have it both ways. Did you know them or not? Okay. Sorry, I got somebody calling me. Can't talk. You said, in my opinion, there has been many more victims. Just they haven't come out yet. as old as he is, this isn't new behavior. He has likely done this many, many times, is what people said. Besides Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, Danny Masterson, Larry Nassar, no one else has ever been convicted of SA. Very discouraging. Well, and don't forget, the criminal side, because that's the criminal side, right? Then you have all those civil lawsuits too. It seems like the route for a lot of the victims is just to go civil, which is unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it is, right? Like, I don't know. Laws need to change. Laws definitely need to change. Okay, so defendant's own admission, and this was interesting because he admitted himself, yeah, I knew them or didn't know them or whatever. He admitted to touching them and whatnot, which was kind of weird when he said that to the detective. And then he was like, well, I don't know them. Now, mind you, keep in mind that Melissa Gilbert was on that phone call with him when he made that statement. So Melissa Gilbert was on the phone with him when he made that statement. The detective says it in that interview. He says, my wife is right here. And then while the detective was on his call, he also had a supervisor there as well. So it wasn't like a situation where, okay, like, casually, this is what it is. No. Like, this is, Melissa knew that what was coming as far as this allegation. Now, whether she believed it or not, that's a whole separate conversation. What about the other ones? I don't know. Okay. So SL's twin brother, VL, independently disclosed unwanted touching by the defendant and corroborated the pattern of inappropriate physical contact and authority-based silence. The defendant encouraged the children to refer to him as Uncle Tim, purchase gifts, socialized with the family outside of work, exploited the chaotic filming environment to isolate the children. Conduct consisted with grooming behaviors recognized in child abuse charges. Okay, so the nature and seriousness of the danger posed by defendant's release. Defendant poses an ongoing and serious danger to children and the community. His conduct reflects a calculated pattern of grooming, lack of boundaries, exploitation of professional boundaries to gain access to minors. The defendant has demonstrated willingness to exploit position of trust, ability to offend in professional environments designed to appear safe, minimization and denial of conduct, access to children through his profession, pattern of inappropriate conduct spanning decades. Witnesses in this investigation expressed fear of retaliation and career harm for reporting the defendant's conduct, further underscoring his ability to intimidate and silence others. The actress, what's her name? Elodie, right? That lady was willing to talk to the third-party independent investigation with Warner Brothers, but wasn't willing to talk to the detective. Okay, keep that in mind. She was kind of like, I don't, no. That kind of situation. I don't have anything to say. Now, this is the detective. This isn't even the third-party people. Elodie said that she overheard the children's mom say something to the effect that she was going to get revenge or something like that. Something that would have made you question for sure. I mean, and who knows? Maybe they did say that. I don't know. I wasn't there, right? Please note that. Something that would have made you question motive and intent by the parents. We weren't there. So Elodie's probably going to have to testify to that, right? Elodie's probably going to get a subpoena. The actress, who I don't know, but apparently she's got a profile out there. I don't know what movies or what shows or what, but she's going to have to say something. She can't stay quiet forever. It's just how it is. It further goes. To silence others, no condition or combination of conditions, including supervision and electronic monitoring or no contact orders, can reasonably mitigate this danger. Grooming occurs covertly and incrementally, and the defendant's authority enables him to bypass safeguards intended to protect children. All right, so defendant's known history. Look at this. Now we're going to get into this history. The defendant has a documented pattern of sexual misconduct, abuse of authority, and grooming behaviors, as well as the seriousness of corroboration of charge offenses. Timothy Busfield has faced accusations of SA with 2 separate incidences reported in the media. One in the 1990s, and another one occurred around 2012. The first allegation occurred in 1994. A 17-year-old extra on Little Big League sued in Los Angeles Superior Court, claiming Busfield assaulted her, served her alcohol, robed her, and attempted S in the trailer. Denied by Busfield, who countersued for extortion, plaintiff settled privately. His later defamation bid against her lawyers got tossed, and he was ordered to pay $150,000 in costs. Second allegation occurred in March of 2012. Now, this was a year before he got married. A 28-year-old woman accused Busfield of battery in an LA movie theater, alleging that he slipped his hands under her clothes, touched the area for about 4 minutes. Okay. Police took report code under 243.4, but prosecutors passed due to slim evidence. He called it consensual. No arrest, no lawsuit filed, close. All right. Warner Brothers did a separate investigation of the defendant in February 2025. I'm making up words. An anonymous complainant made through the SAG-AFTRA hotline. The claims were defendant entered a trailer on the set of The Cleaning Lady and kissed a 6-year-old boy, KRS, on the face while the boy was get a haircut. There's a typo here. There's like multiple typos here. Like, what is going on here? Hold up, y'all. There's typos, and my highlighting is crazy. I thought it was... hold up. This is a different child. Vicky, are you in the chat? This is a different child. This is not the same child. When the arrest warrant talks about this report, it talks about that it doesn't even give the initials. This is a different child, guys. The other children, you have SL and VL. This one is of a 6-year-old child, and this happened in February 2025. Let me pull up the arrest warrant. Hold up. Let's go to our little files over here. This is a separate incident. This is a separate victim. This is a child, 6-year-old boy. Okay. Let's go to Timothy. Yeah. Let's pull that up real quick. This is the criminal thing, okay? Y'all see that, right? Let me put this down real quick. We already got our banner up. We don't need this. It's too big. So this is the one from New Mexico, okay? When it talks about that SAG-AFTRA hotline call, I had assumed that somebody witnessed SL or VL be kissed by Timothy Busfield. This is a separate victim. This is not the same victim. Let me go up a little bit. So here it is. On or about February 17, 2025, an anonymous complainant made a complaint through the SAG-AFTRA hotline about an incident that allegedly occurred on the set of The Cleaning Lady, December. Look, the incident happened sometime in December 16, 2024. According to the anonymous complainant who had witnessed an incident in the hair and makeup trailer, executive producer director Tim Busfield entered and kissed a minor male on the face as the minor was getting a haircut. The anonymous complainant further alleged that there are pictures of Mr. Busfield tickling and caressing the head and body of minor boys. This is a different child. I thought that this call was regarding the child victim in the criminal case. So, yeah. Wow. All right. Well, that's a new nugget of information we just found out. I did not know. You said it's the younger child that played the same character in the show. Initials are KRS. Yes. But Becky, the other two, so this is a separate complaint on a different child. Then you have the two child victims, the twins, right? When we first read this, I was under the assumption that this was pertaining to the victims, the ones that in the criminal complaint. This is pertaining to a different child. So what's so interesting now, it makes more sense as to why the detective said that he wasn't really allowed to interview anybody else. And, he was concerned about the safety of the other children because there's other children, right? And we don't know if the other children have been harmed or if there's been anything else going on in that area with those other children. So not only do you have the two, so we have the twins, and then we have another child who's 6. But I don't know what they did here with this child who's 6. I don't know if there was a police report filed or anything. Whoever witnessed this was concerned enough to say, I'm going to call this SAG-AFTRA hotline and report that this inappropriate behavior that happened in hair and makeup, and it's pertaining to a 6-year-old boy in 2024. All right. So I think that's a good thing to kind of notice. Interesting distinction, right? As far as these reports go. Okay, further goes. The claims were the defendant entered a trailer on the set of The Cleaning Lady and kissed a 6-year-old boy, KRS, on the face while the boy was getting a haircut. The complainant further alleged that there are pictures of the defendant tickling and caressing the head and bodies of the minor boys, obviously drunk. That's a new piece of information. So he was drinking when he was doing this? The second allegation the next day was made by the SAG-AFTRA hotline. Oh, there's another allegation. The second allegation the next day was made by the SAG-AFTRA hotline that in September 2024 at the, Cinelli's studio office in New Mexico, the claim was that the defendant asked a parent to wait outside an office and took the minor into a closed door for an audition, which is prohibited. That minor was VL. There's the twin. VL is the twin. During the investigation that Warner Brothers conducted, they failed to speak with key witnesses, VL or his parents. So there is somebody in here that was concerned enough. They reported the 6-year-old. They reported concerns about VL, who's a victim in the criminal case. Okay, how come I can't highlight straight, y'all? I feel like I'm struggling. Here it is. Interesting. This is interesting. Okay, and that's not in the arrest affidavit either. Okay, keep that in mind. Another victim's father, Colin Swift, reported to law enforcement on January 13, 2026, 2 days ago, reporting essay of their daughter that occurred several years ago by the hands of the defendant in Sacramento, California. While auditioning for the defendant at B Street Theater, the 16-year-old reported the defendant kissed her and put his hands down her pants and touched her area. The defendant begged the family to not report to law enforcement if he received therapy. Colin Swift, a therapist himself, thought at the time that was the best thing to do. What? The dad is a therapist now? And he was like, the best thing to do was... Am I reading this correctly? Because listen, sometimes I misread things. Yeah. Did you all see that? Okay, let me go back a little bit. The defendant, another victim's father, his name is Colin Swift, reported to law enforcement on January 13, 2026, reporting essay of their daughter that occurred several years ago by the hands of the defendant in Sacramento, California. While auditioning for the defendant at B Street Theater, the 16-year-old reported the defendant kissed her and put his hands in the area, okay? The defendant begged the family to not report to law enforcement if he received therapy. Colin Swift, a therapist himself, thought at the time that was the best thing to do. I hadn't read that part. I knew that she was like, okay. I hadn't read that part. I didn't even know the dad was a therapist. You mean to tell me that this guy could have been like in trouble years ago and it didn't happen? And not only that, he was a therapist too. And he's like, well, I promise I'm going to get therapy. Just don't report me. And that's that. That's the end of that. That's insane and crazy. Like, I don't know what to say. You know, and again, that was years ago, right? I mean, people lose licenses over that, but that's your own child. So I don't know what that looks like or anything like that. That should have been reported to the police. And I mean, I hope that she got the help and support that she needed because wow. And that's exactly, yeah, that's right. Alligator, this is why it continues. That's why it's continued for so long. I don't know. Doesn't he have a, well, I don't know what the laws looked like 25 years ago, right? Like keep that in mind. And now mind you, it sounds like this was Sacramento, California. Let me see something real quick if I can look that up. So my understanding that the time span was like 25 years ago when that happened. What was the mandated reporting laws in California 25 years ago? Like, when did they, so did they start in the early 2000s or when did they start? In the 2000s, I think that's when it started. And notice how the document doesn't necessarily say what year. It only talks about the fact that Colin Swift recently reported this alleged essay of his daughter like 3 days ago. Colin is a whole ass therapist. I mean, this could have been prevented. This could have been in a something. He could have been put in a registry or something, you know? Yeah, well, that's a great question. Was he a father then? Like, was he a therapist then, or what was his role? That's true. Let me not jump into conclusions, but I was kind of curious about that. What does it look like, though, Vicky? Let me ask you a question, though. If you were, I'm trying to think. So if that happened, and he says, "I'm going to go get therapy," right? And you're not a therapist then, but then maybe you become a therapist later. Do you report it? Like, is there? I guess that's the question. Is like, is there a timestamp to this or anything like that? Like, if I knew of something and I didn't report it, but I wasn't a social worker then, wouldn't I at some point want to report that? I guess I don't know if it's retroactive. I think that's the question that I'm asking. Heartbreaking situation. I will say that this guy should have been held accountable a long time ago, right? That's what I got to say. But that's a good point, though. I don't know if any of this is retroactive. You said look up the criminal code cited in the document. The codes are usually dated in the definition. Yeah, but he's not like, they're literally saying, at least the way the DA wrote this, is that he's not giving a time frame of when the actual essay occurred. He said several years ago. Now, people on the media said 25 years ago. 25 years ago, those laws look different than what they looked like now, right? Yes, we have to remember that that was her father, not the therapist. So his duty as a therapist goes out the window. That's true. His duty as a father kicks in, and he failed her as a father. I would agree with that. He failed her as a father. And I think maybe that's why he's talking about it now, because he feels like, well, fuck, I didn't even, not only did I not protect her then, but now I'm a therapist. And there's a lot of people who could have, who's been hurt by this, right? No, no, no. I'm glad. I got you. I got you. Thank you. I'm doing talk to text. Just don't say some crazy shit. You're fine. Um, I think I get it, but it's different. You stay. But I don't know if it's. There's been so many changes to the mandated reporting laws, right? So I don't know, man. We'll have to look into that at some point. But anyways, how this fits into this? What's because the DA mentions this here, right? I guess we'll see. This is the conclusion. The defendant's repeated sexual touching of victims' intimate areas, combined with deliberate grooming behaviors, establishes a sustained pattern of predatory conduct. This conduct demonstrates that a defendant poses a serious and ongoing danger not only to the named victims, but to any child placed within his proximity. Sexual exploitation of children reflects a profound disregard for physical safety, emotional well-being, and developmental health of minors, and it evidence. There's some typos in here. Listen, it says, and it evidence, and it's evident a risk that cannot be adequately mitigated through supervision or conditional release. The danger posed by the defendant is further amplified by his conduct after learning of the warrant in this case. Despite knowing on Friday afternoon that a warrant had been issued for his arrest, the defendant did not immediately surrender to law enforcement. Instead, he delayed for approximately 5 days, traveling from New York to New Mexico to avoid the extradition process. This was not an act of cooperation. It was a calculated decision to submit to law enforcement only on terms most convenient to the defendant. More troubling, prior to surrendering, the defendant chose to record and disseminate a video to a national media outlet, TMZ. This conduct demonstrates a willingness to prioritize personal narrative control and public relations over compliance with lawful court processes. The court of public opinion matters. Okay, remember, if you can get the court of public opinion to defend you, I mean, literally, that's can make and break your case publicly, right? Not so much in the court of law, but that's what people look at. They look at the court of public opinion to see what can help in that. Okay, let's keep going. Such behaviors raises concerns that the defendant will comply with court orders only when it suits him, rather than out of respect for the judicial authority or the rule of law. The defendant's history of alleged misconduct spanning more than 2 decades, coupled with the fear expressed by witnesses regarding retaliation and professional harm, illustrates how individuals in position of power are able to silence victims and witnesses, allowing abuse to persist unchecked. The delayed and limited cooperation by Warner Brothers, and there was, in responding to a search warrant further underscores the institutional barriers that have historically enabled this type of misconduct to continue. Research and experience consistently show that when offenders yield authority, status, or influence, they are uniquely positioned to evade accountability, circumvent safeguards designed to protect children in light of the defendant's demonstrated disregard for boundaries, authority, and compliance. No condition or combination of conditions of release can reasonably protect the victims or the community accordingly. The only way to ensure the safety of children and preserve the integrity of these proceedings is to detain the defendant in custody pending resolution of this matter at trial. For the above reasons, and in the interest of security and public safety of the law-abiding citizens of New Mexico, the state respectfully requests that this court make a finding of probable cause based on the criminal complaint filed in this matter. Issue an order temporarily denying release while awaiting a detention hearing, and transfer or set this matter for a hearing in the district court, at which the state will prove by clear and convincing evidence that no conditions of release will reasonably protect the safety of any other person or community. So the DA signs this. 7 pages. All right. Now, shout out to my wonderful, beautiful supporter, Sylvia, who, let me get out of here real quick and go to the other screen right quick. Okay. Hold up. Because I was trying to, let me see. When was this posted? Wow, that's interesting. Do you think that Melissa Gilbert around, I mean, she had to have known because listen, she was on phone calls, right? With detectives. At least that's what the arrest warrant says, right?
Every morning, but he's not here, so
Where this was
I have to hold
December.
it. So I have to make my own tape, and it's never quite the same because he put so much love in it.
You know, she's talking about T. You know, T. Tim makes the tea, okay, but it's never quite right because he wasn't around that time. You said cultish behavior. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, okay? You said all secrets come to light eventually. Well, I mean, literally, absolutely. He should have spoken up, and I'm glad that he did. Right? You said, Chad, I wonder what really goes on behind these celebrity doors. You know what? It's just that's a great question. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, please, and thank you. Share, support the channel. You said, Rabbit, I see what's going on now. You actually want to see New Mexico's law. These other reports are basically for establishing a pattern of defendant's behavior. Yeah. So yes. I think I'm asking. I think my question is twofold. If the conduct of the 16-year-old occurred in California, right? The DA is mentioning this to basically establish a pattern of behavior. That's what the DA is doing. I mean, people do it all the time. When I used to write court reports all the time, and especially treatment plans and stuff like that, right? And then you start kind of documenting, like, you know, whether it's offending behavior, new things that have happened, whatever. I mean, these are things that you kind of keep track. So for me, it's like, are we, when it comes to this, especially with the father, because the father said he reported to law enforcement. Well, what does that look like for law enforcement? Law enforcement in New Mexico, law enforcement in California, that's where the crime happened. And it sounds like, by the way, side note, B Street, where the 16-year-old was, essayed, they said 25 years ago or several years ago, however the time frame was, B Street did an independent investigation of the situation, which means that B Street was aware that something was going on. And the reality is that, let's just put it out here. Let's just say that we don't want to make everybody a mandated reporter. Let's just say that that's the case. I know, and people are like, well, why not? No. Like, hear me out, right? If children are working on the set of on a Hollywood set, right? Kids are working on a Hollywood set. And around that time, because they're minors, the institution, the agency, and we can go back and forth on this, there's a duty of care there, right? To a certain degree. And I'm not saying that they're watching over, like they're working because they've earned the job and everything. And if they have their work permits, they're able to do that. And, all this other stuff, they're able to be in that kind of environment. Fine. But there should be something also that says that because you have minors working, that you're also by law a mandated reporter, right? Simply for the simple fact that you're in the vicinity of a minor. No different than if a janitor is working at a school, by default, he or she would be a mandated reporter. Just like a cafeteria worker. They may not be teaching the children, but because they're in the vicinity of the children, there should be something to be said there. I did a lot of odd jobs when I was a kid, right? I had all kinds of jobs. I mean, I was working, I think, the day I was born. All right. So you would think that if something happens to me there and I'm 16 and I'm a minor, and the thing is, well, you got to abide by labor laws. If I'm working too much, the state's going to come down and say, you're putting this child to work too much. Okay. So you're concerned about my work hours, right? I shouldn't be working too much. I got to clock out. But if something is happening to me while I'm auditioning, which is supposedly work hours, why am I not protected? And why aren't you guys also mandated reporters if you know that you have to take it to the extent of where you're investigating? Does that make sense? Because so much has happened here that's to the point that you're taking a report. You're trying to investigate the situation. It's the same thing with Celeste Rivas. I'm not trying to combine everything together, right? But she wasn't necessarily working there. Maybe two different things. But there's got to be something that says that, well, all right, we're not shooting a music video. There should be no children on the set. Something has to give here, where if there is vicinity to children, or the child's on the clock, or they're out there auditioning, which is considered work, people need to be able to expand those mandated reporting laws that says something to the effect of, like, this isn't just about this child overworking, it's about the safety of this child. If I slip and fall at work, guess what? I have to report that, right? So there's got to be something to be said about the way in which we're doing things. It makes a lot of sense to me, but maybe it doesn't to some folks. I'm not familiar with how far we've gotten on that extent. But to me, it's like, again, if you're hiring child actors, immediately, there was a lack of supervision there already with the teacher. They said it. There was warning signs. I mean, even the lack of supervision by the teacher that was hired to watch these two victims, right? She should have been reported for not doing her job. I even asked the question, why the hell was this teacher there if people knew? Well, people were bumping into the kids while on the set. Well, wouldn't that be a red flag to make a call and say, hey, I have a concern. Like, let's stop this right here. I just thinking out loud. You know what I mean? You say, but both law and professional ethics strongly discourage dual relationships when they could harm the client or impair professional judgment. That is very true. Very, very true, man. Because I think that, yeah, I mean, there's got to be a middle ground, though. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know. He said, what's the point in having all these, having these on set careers? You mean having the children in the set? You said, is there a reason why New Mexico has a high CA rate? What you mean CA rate? Oh, child abuse rate? I don't know. It's a great question. There is no specific California statute that outright prohibits a therapist from treating a family member. That's true, including their own child, solely because of that relationship. There you go. That's crazy, because I don't think I could ever do that. It's always kind of weird to take that role. I'm just saying. You said it is not enough protection on set of kids. I agree. I said, I think Hollywood looks for children whose parents aren't too involved and seem motivated by fame and money. Well, isn't that the trend? Like, if you think about, if you are to do, it's crazy, right? I don't know if anybody's done it. And they probably haven't done it because they don't want to get sued, right? But it would be interesting to pull, like, think of all the Britney Spears parents, okay? Who else? Justin Bieber's parents. These parents that have willfully given up their kids for careers, right? And then here we are years later wondering, why is that child so messed up? Why? What happened here? What? That's what I'm talking about. It's like sometimes we have the answer right in front of us. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to wonder. Usher's parents is another one. Perfect. Usher's parents. Lindsay Lohan's parents. I think their dad's like incarcerated currently. I mean, there is this like investment. And I saw that shit a lot growing up too, right? Where, I mean, there's this investment. It's kind of weird, but you have to know what you're getting yourself into. But I don't know. There's got to be a study out there that says that. Justin makes me sad. And I think that they're like trying to sue a blogger or something. Did y'all hear about that? That like they're trying to sue a blogger or something like that. I haven't even looked into that yet, but I'm kind of curious to know for what. For posting a video or for giving commentary about a video or some shit like that. You said our government judicial system is more interested in restricting women's rights than protecting children. It's severely flawed. Is that? Well, all I know about restricting anything from anybody is that it never ends very well for anybody when it comes to like that. Oh my God, Macaulay Culkin's parents is a great example. And you know what? You saw BJ talking about it. Oh, shout out to BJ. Look, Macaulay Culkin's parents, to me, is like the classic example. Like, there was another girl. My God, this one stood out to me. There was a gymnast, and you guys might remember her name. I forgot her name. She divorced her parents. She was like 16 or 17. She like emancipated or something like that. But she did it formally through divorcing her parents. She was literally mid-career, and she was like in the Olympics. She was a gymnast, gorgeous, beautiful girl, right? And the reason why I remember her so much is because when this happened, I was in high school when this happened, and I saw her story in 17 magazine, y'all. Not that I could buy the magazines. You know, I went to my local library and kind of was looking at the magazines. That's what I was doing, right? Her story was one that stood out to me. I don't know why, but it was like the first time that I ever learned what the word emancipated mean, where you legally divorce your parents. I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know you could I didn't know you could divorce your parents. Is it, this sounds familiar. Hold up. I bet you if I saw her face, she like self-emancipated. Hold up. Nadia, she was a gymnast that it was right when I was 16 or 17 that this happened. The young gymnast that divorced her parents at a young age. Something happened. I said, how do you divorce your parents? No, Dominique, I can never say her last name. This is her. Her face stands out to me because I remember her. Because I think I saw her like videos. Look at this, was her, y'all. She divorced from her parents. Was she 17? Do y'all remember? Put a one in the chat if you remember. It was Dominique and she did it at 6. That's what I'm saying. I was like, I remember there was a story and I think I read it in like 17 magazine or something like that. And she was a gymnast and I just remember her face because she was just like a gorgeous, very young girl and everything. Yeah. So I never knew, like, I always wanted to, maybe I'll do a video on her because I was always kind of curious about what happened. You remember this? I remember it was like on a cover of 17 magazine. It was the first time I ever heard about anybody divorcing your parents or emancipation or anything like that. But yeah, I remember her. She made the news when this happened. I don't know if it was because it was like the biggest story, maybe because she was a teenager when she did it. But she stood out to me. She says right here, the young gymnast who famously sought emancipation from her parents at the age of 17 in 1998 was an Olympic and gold medalist. Yep. She was part of the Magnificent Seven team, and she sued for independence to gain control of her earnings. Can you imagine that you had to do all that at the age of 17, knowing that your parents exploited your success? I'm going to have to do a video on this girl because, like, I feel like I remember reading, and I was like, oh, my God, people do this? So can I divorce my parents too? It's like, maybe I can divorce my parents. I thought about it. I'm not going to lie. I mean, shout out to my parents. Don't get mad at me, mom and dad. But my confessions, if you're watching this video, I did think about divorcing you guys at one point. And when I read that story, I was like, I didn't even know I could do it. So maybe I'll look into that. Not that I had any assets because I did it. But anyways, moving on. Let me make sure because I don't want to misspell her name. Her name was Dominique. I think it's like Monsiano. No, she was not a Larry Nassar victim. I don't think. I'd have to look into this. I don't believe she was a Larry Nassar victim. I think Larry Nassar was after her. Or maybe. I don't remember. I don't believe she was. You said, don't do it. You said they will be out of your life soon. I remember. I know I said, LOL, I wasn't famous enough, but I became oh, you did. LOL, I wasn't famous, but I became emancipated adult at the age of 16. Wow. See, I didn't even know you could do that. Gary Coleman was another one too. Oh my God. All right. That was before Larry Nassar. So I don't think she was a victim of Larry Nassar. Good point. But I remember that this was a story and stuff like that. And people were like side-eyeing her and everything. Or like, how dare you do this to your parents? And I never really understood what was going on. So maybe I'll look into her story a little bit more. I'm kind of curious to see what happened to her. Okay. Living Cole, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Y'all, if you've been gifted, thank you. Put some hearts in the chat. Thank you, guys. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, please. And thank you. Support the channel. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay. So I guess we're going to follow up with, with this criminal case and see what happens and whatnot. But it sounds like it was more people involved in this situation. I think people need to be aware, right? About everything that's happening as it pertains to this. We should all be very much aware. Now, hold up. Let me put this on mute. I saw this video. Lauren You guys know that she works for LA Mag, right? She brought this. I saw this and I was like, oh, I had never seen this before, right? And this is we're moving on to D4VD, by the way. And I saw this, I was like, oh, okay. In this video has surfaced. This video is about 2 years old. And D4VD almost gets maced in Baltimore, episode 2. Now, I didn't know that D4VD also had a gaming channel, but apparently the guy has a gaming channel or had a gaming channel or has a gaming channel. I guess the word would be has. And I don't know how he uses it and whatnot, but let's watch this. Apparently, we get to see Rob Morgenroth in this video as well. You know, they were going to the high schools. This is when they were promoting the music. That was an interesting video. Let's watch.
Give out free center tickets to a high school. Kids are super smart. Apparently, the past 5 schools been like these artsy schools that got like super cool electives and whatnot. That's my fans, I guess.
So at this time, he's about 18 years old, all high school kids, okay? You know, he's got high school fans. I mean, if you think about the age range of the music and whatnot, so this was 2 years ago, just so people are aware. How old was Celeste around this time? Put it in the chat if you can do math really quickly.
Fight. We better fight. I will love
Oh, you saw it on FloJo? Shout out to FloJo.
No, I'm saying, make sure you on the ground, one little wheel.
Y'all better hurry up. If they start fighting, the police will start making.
All right, let me make sure I skip the music because we gotta be careful. Let's see. So he's out here promoting music. Very young kids. My goodness. Let's see. Save your tears, it'll be okay. And I know that you're here with me. It's him. Go. That's you. You said so. Celeste would have been 11 or 12 around this time. Okay. They had already met based on the timeline that we know.
This is like it was. Like, I know what you're talking about. That's you. Oh my god.
Look at that. Y'all see that right there? Hold up. That was Rob right there. Hold up. Let's see. That's him right there. That's him right there. So, I mean, they were traveling, you know, promoting music and whatnot. This is... No, is that Rob or is that what's his name? Josh. He looks like Rob. I think it's Rob. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's Rob.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah,
How y'all doing? Y'all already know what the vibes are.
That's FloJo. Josh is there too. There it is.
2 tickets if you find them. Oh,
yo, thank you. This idea, this story, when he says, well, I wasn't close and I got my women and children. I mean, D4VD and his parents, they all attended his wedding. You see the wedding video. It's out there. It's not a secret.
Y'all like civil music?
Yeah,
I don't want to give these to no non-fans. Imagine you got a hate Twitter page or something.
Yeah, I was like the one that like started, I guess, like the whole thing, me and my friend. But my friend is like not here at the moment. Yeah, they're inside.
I was about to say sorry for your loss.
They're not dead. They're not dead. They probably wanted me, but like, I don't think anyone.
Yeah, I mean, so you're signatures.
She made the music. She made the music.
Stop. I brought you the marker.
You did
You know,
do that.
not the invisible ink.
So what do you say?
Wait, give me.
I mean, guys, you know, it wasn't like he wasn't likable. Clearly, he had, you know, a specific kind of fan base, right? Likable. You said Rob looks like my old soup at a restaurant who previously owned a gentleman's club. Lord have mercy. You said white girl man hanging at the school. Well, he was 18 at this time, right? So this is his fan base. There's that. It does feel a little bit weird. This was literally 2 years ago. Yeah, when artists don't think about the Backstreet Boys. The Backstreet Boys started singing in high schools, did they not? That's what they did. So this is not like, oh my God, this is so weird. It's weird in the sense that of what we know now. But okay, when NSYNC and Backstreet Boys started, he started singing in high schools. And who was the oldest member of the Backstreet Boy? Wasn't it Kevin? Kevin is the oldest member of the Backstreet Boys. You know, these guys were a lot older than high school, several years older than these high school students when they were traveling in the high schools and singing in the gyms and stuff like that. So this doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, if he performed at a high school before he got started and hit it big, because a lot of these that's how they start, right? Yeah, you got out there. You start your fan base with the high schools. This has always been the thing. You go and you perform at the malls. You start at the high schools. Your fan base starts there, and then they're the ones that are buying your CDs, going to your concerts, getting the posters, putting in the locker, inviting the friends. This is not abnormal to me. Now, it's weird because of what we know now, right? Please note that. But to me, this is no different. A lot of artists start this. You said, shout out to you, K baby. I hope you have a good work day, okay? Shout out to you. Kristen, how are you, my love? Kristen, was it you that messaged me earlier this morning? Or was that a different Kristen? It's probably a different Kristen. His fans are in the high schoolers, according to the 16-year-old. Yeah, they are. I mean, I didn't know who D4VD was until my oldest told me. You know, I mean, it's kind of like my oldest likes Billie Eilish, so he's into that. They kind of mirror themselves a little bit. It's a different taste of music. You said New Kids on the Block, only 12 years old, Joey. Right, there you go. But think about, so to me, yeah, it's weird now, but they started in high school. Oh, that's your fan base right there. All right, let me keep playing this.
Like indie, alternative, R&B, like a little bit of everything.
All right.
These are photos from the other night.
Yo, did you guys get the text?
Yeah, they're gone.
Oh, yeah, they're like one.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. So nice to meet you.
There you go. I'm going to try to, let's see. Do we see any faces? Guitarists? Who's this?
Leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone.
Oh, look who's here.
Ian.
Who's more
ophthalmologist.
Look who's here. Hold up.
He's commander of ops. We're about to go on stage. We're about to kill it. I'm the backup singer. I'm the hype man.
There's who's that? Who's that look like? Who is it? You said his teenage self prayed on to grow a fan base. At 18, his brain knows enough to know, you said. Ellery, thank you so much for being a member for a month. Shout out to you. I feel like it's been longer, Ellery. And my beautiful, wonderful OG Pika mod. Streak to the like button, please, and thank you, and hit that like. Thank you so much, Pika. Thank you. Love you, Pika. Thank you. Josh. Yeah, that's Josh. That's right. You said he could tell, he could very well be watching this stream right now. Haha, you never know. Probably. Who knows? There used to be you said I used to go to teen clubs. Well, you weren't a teen when you used to go to teen clubs? There used to be when I was in high school, there was this nightclub. It was always like Fridays and Saturdays, right? And they would allow you, it was like 16 and plus. And 16 and plus, which means that you'd also get the 21-year-olds and the 22-year-olds and the 25-year-olds, 28-year-olds, like you get them there, and the 16 and plus. There was such a place. That place closed down many years ago, but I remember that was the place everybody went to, you know, because back in those days. Yeah, it is Josh Marshall. Okay, let's keep playing.
You doing the backflip today?
I'm doing the backflip.
Don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it.
Okay, let me try to, because I got to bypass the music. Where did Robert go? Robert who? Morgan Roth? Ooh, there it is.
Where did Robert go? You have a car? It's in the streets of Toronto, married to the streets, fam. Like, it's a real wedding band, you feel me? Like, we're engaged to the streets now. Call Drake, tell him I'm one of the dogs now.
Oh.
That's someone's real wedding ring. You just took it.
Well, don't leave your wedding rings in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pawning that as soon as we fall asleep.
Josh is the one driving.
Give out free center tickets to a high school. Kids are super smart. Apparently, the past 5 schools been like these artsy schools that got like super cool electives and whatnot. That's my fans, I guess.
There you go.
Free shirt.
For more high schools. So this is what I'm saying. When I hear people talk about this, 2-year-old video, remember also, again, like when these Backstreet Boys and NSYNC people started, they started at the high schools. There's a lot of this, and they were older. So to me, I'm like, he's growing the band phase. I mean, I don't, whether it's wrong, right, or indifferent, high schools all the time do it. They open their doors for these up and coming artists. Yeah.
But listen, you gotta do one thing for me. Why would you do that,
Oh, my dog knocks out.
Wait. Is he really handing out bloody shirts? Oh my God. He's handing out the shirts with the blood stains on them. Did y'all see that? I just noticed that. Wow.
Wait. This is tough on Mother's Day.
This is murder.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to give y'all free city tickets for the show tonight.
He better fight.
Here's something you can say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see, this is what artists do. He's literally handing out the bloody shirts, y'all. This is, I'd be like, go watch. Anyways, I'm stopping.
Somebody faded, bro.
Oh, who about to fight?
Oh man.
Y'all better hurry up. If they start fighting, the police gonna start macing. Oh, you put it on.
5 hours? You go 5 hours?
I walked 2 hours and then I waited 5 hours.
No way.
Yes. Like the main reason I do music is mainly because of you.
The main reason I do music is mainly because of you. Okay. So again, a very young crowd. He looks very young. He definitely looks like a minor for sure. Yeah, I would probably say that. You said, look at I mean, it's the aesthetics.
Yeah.
What's your make music on BandLab?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You got SoundCloud?
I got SoundCloud. I got YouTube. His voice is beautiful.
Win these tickets?
Oh, I want one of these tickets or something. Yeah, I'm hunting for these tickets. Wish me luck. Oh, okay. Yeah.
What you got on?
Yeah, shut that shit off.
City Aqualand. It's 1,000 right here.
Okay.
Citizen. My bad. Essential. It's a little school. A nice little UA.
Okay.
BVs.
All right.
BVs.
How much those? Hold on. How much those?
Chill.
Wow.
It's a little school fit.
Yeah, I feel you. Light work.
Light work. I don't even know. UA outlet. Not the regular UA spot. Big boy city. Big boy city.
Okay.
Not the little one.
First clue, you gotta circle the lake. The first clue is around the lake.
Now hold on just a second.
I mean,
In my car, listen, I'm on sports mode.
Young kid.
You gonna find the poster. The poster. Okay, so here's my dilemma. So essentially, I had the wedding ring on my pinky, and I lost it in the green room, bro. I go on stage in 25 minutes. I can't find the wedding ring, bro. I kid you not. I go on stage in 25 minutes. I can't find my ring. I need my ring, bro. I need them to put that on the jumbotron. I gotta do this. I gotta be shiny, bro.
Okay. Sorry, I gotta bypass the music. Okay, he's performing. Yada yada yada. I mean, aesthetics. Okay, everything else is just performance. That's crazy. I mean, like I said, I'm not surprised. His fan base is young. Nothing really, this is no different than what the boy bands used to do back in the day too. Yes, they have access. His fan base is young, so that's who he is attracting. What I think is just off is knowing what we know now, right? And I think Celeste would have been 11 or 12 years old around this time, and he was 18. It's kind of sad to see all this. You said, I'm going to keep it the faith that LE are working hard and taking their time. So hold up 1 minute. So that what? So that the charges, yeah. I mean, I think I don't put it past anybody. I think a lot of people are invested in seeing, justice for Celeste, and we're there too as well. It just seems like, what's the word? Like, it's taking its time, and we might not always be aware of it, but it's gonna take time. That's it. That's all. That's how it is. We don't want anything to be too rushed or anything like that. That's how we should, see it as. We don't want anything to be rushed. Okay, let me see this real quick. I'm trying to pull a link that I was sent. Is this it? Okay, yes it is. So skip. We're going to move on real quick. So my question to you guys was earlier, do we start a new stream? Which I've already scheduled it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There's a person by the name of Sascha Riley. And it started, I guess, on Substack, where they have identified themselves to be a victim of Epstein. Okay. Now this is what this person is alleging. I don't know everything. I don't, that it's not on paper. It's those allegations. They've made these allegations, and they are saying specifically that it occurred during the Trump Epstein ring. He said that there's a Trump, it's whatever that looks like. He said he was, and I believe they go by they were forced to perform acts during filming of several child porn videos, okay, including certain videos. He recalls specifically 10 to 12 videos during the shoot. He saw a child get hurt during the filming, and then another child get hurt. So there's a lot, and there are these recordings that this is Sascha. These recordings are about an hour and 26 minutes. You have an hour and 15, 23 minutes, 36. So I'm like, well, listen, we can do one of two things. I can go live at the time that I've already set up to go live, and we can review this an hour and 21 minutes. But I'm going to be on my headphone. I'm being, because I got baby bunny and stuff like that. So she's not listening, but I have it all with me, right? I'll be managing that. I could play that now and leave the chat running while I go pick up baby bunny, or have them separate. Maybe I'll do it. Yeah, I think a new stream would be better. Okay, so that's already been scheduled. I now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, hold up. I'm like, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it out loud, a new stream would be better. I already have it scheduled. I'm gonna get baby bunny some lunch. Let me see. Hold up. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So let's go to my channel real quick. Go to my channel right quick. View channel. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I have this live schedule right here. Sharing this one right here. Sascha Riley audios, Epstein and more live listen. I don't know. I've heard different things. I'm not saying that I'm like 1000%. It's the one over here with Sascha's photo right there. Okay. We're live on this one. This is intense, but this one's already scheduled for, if you click on it, it's already there. I'll even leave the link. This is it. I have to expand it more and put more information on it, but I'll leave the link in the chat for you guys. I want some lunch. Baby bunny wants a Happy Meal, Vicky. So I got to go get her a Happy Meal. So I got to go do that. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I got to give me some food too and stuff like that. So this is going to be our next live right here. Yeah, maybe separated. I'll be listening and I'll be stopping and giving some commentary and whatnot. I've never heard of them. I've heard different things and whatnot. So it'll be like my first time reacting to it. Like I said, I'll say it again. Y'all are entitled to your opinion. The guy drops names and I have to be careful because I think that there's a way that they and them identify themselves. And I usually struggle with that. Please note that I'm not trying to be offensive. Sometimes my mind just doesn't work that way. And so I have to be able, I have to correct myself, and please correct me in the chat if I'm supposed to say it differently. Okay. Note that it doesn't come from a malicious place. I literally forget, y'all. I really do. I've been trained one way for so many years. Okay, so we're gonna be live on that in a couple of minutes, maybe an hour and some. That way I can go get some food and get baby bunny set up as well, because the girl's gonna want a Happy Meal, a Happy Meal, she said. Yep, that's what she wants. So I got to get her a Happy Meal. You said, yes. I struggle. I really do. I'm just being honest with y'all. But y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments. It is going to be a new stream. So go over there. Go over there and wait for me. Get your lunch. We'll be there listening. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But please know it doesn't come from a bad place. I literally just forget. I really do. You need a Happy Meal. I need a Happy Meal too. You know, McDonald's used to sell Happy Meals for adults, but I'm just not like a McDonald's, you know. Yeah, but anyways. I will see you guys in a little bit. Hit the like button, and I'll be over there. Y'all go over there. I'm gonna go set up the video already, so everything's ready to go. Come with an open mind. That's what I'm gonna do. But if something doesn't make sense, I'll definitely, tell you my opinions. Okay. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. And shout out to everybody that supported. Thank you guys. Oh my God, Nikki, 4 months. Shout out to you. Thank you, love. Thank you. All right. See you guys later. Bye, guys.